is going on, ladies and gentlemen? This is Ticker Talkin. It's a podcast type show. We are market focused on those market leaders. So if you're just joining us, thank you so much. And make sure you hit that like and subscribe. Enjoy all the ticker, all the comments. We got the Discord crew in the building. We'll see you guys right after this beautiful intro. All right, let's do this, guys. We're just gonna go over, the ifs, ands, buts, and I'm gonna start off just to kind of show you guys how I want to roll into this. We're gonna talk about good trades, bad trades, what's setting up in the market, and as you guys know, I always watch these leaders. So, I have this leaders list. I've got a couple of different leaders lists. I know that, B. Stewie holds a lot more on his watch list than I do. He's watching more than just what I'm watching. And Daniel J is same thing. He's watching what he finds is necessary to watch. And everybody kind of reverts to the mean in the sense that we always are looking for those leaders in the market. We're looking for tightening range. We're swing traders that like to play momentum. And no matter how you play it, that's what we all kind of come together to do. So we'll talk about some winners. We'll talk about some losers. We'll talk about some that are setting up. And we might even look at a few shit stocks that we probably shouldn't be looking at. But as a technical analysis trader, it's always fun to speculate. So I want to start off with one of what we could call a losing trade, but it's not at all. We're going to start with Reddit, RDDT. So Reddit in the after hours, if you guys didn't see it, I'll show you on this one here, the real time. RDDT actually came all the way back down to its basing breakout area. And I thought that this was a great example to kind of talk about because we always talk about basing and trend breakouts, right? Well, I found this beautiful basing breakout at 180 and I talked about it. I've got in a few times at this basing breakout and I would stop out the next day. But I kept fighting. I kept fighting for it because it kept creating new higher lows here, new higher lows, new higher lows. We got the 3 new higher lows. We're good to go. And I got back into this thing. Well, holding on to this, I exited half of my shares here because I knew earnings was coming up and I ended up netting a beautiful profit of 25% on this, right? So after taking that and hitting something like that, I don't want to hold on to this thing, into earnings, not the whole thing. And if I'm up over 10%, I'm allowed to hold. So this thing after hours came crashing right back down. Now, from what I understand, the earnings actually came out better. It was a double beat. Let me just take a little look for you. Yeah, it was a double beat. We have 42% surprise for the earnings and a 5.64% surprise for the revenue. And so this is why I always say we don't play earnings, guys. We don't play earnings. We always sell before earnings, right? Well, why? Why do I get to hold on to half of my shares in earnings? Well, because I'm up over 10%. And that's part of my rules. I will always sell the whole thing if I'm not up by at least 10%. I was comfortable with holding Reddit half of my shares because I was up well over that 20%. So now that it came crashing right back down to this area, this is a beautiful thing. I didn't even flinch. I didn't even flinch because I bought it at a beautiful area of support. Because after this resistance breaks through, it's no longer resistance, it is support. And so it came all the way back down here and bounced off the support. Now, I had No E messaging in the general chat. Great question, by the way, is this the buy point? Is this a buy point? And, if I didn't know where I was at in this stock at all, I would say absolutely. If you're a dip buyer, you have support here. So it's being supported. Where you have these dip buyers that are just buying every dip. If the dip keeps on dipping, then you're the dip, right? In this sense, if you're buying the dip on something that has financials that actually support its claims. This is an uptrend. It has earnings that are coming in. It has growth. It has the can slim material where it has beautiful earnings. It's in a uptrend of the market. I mean, this is what you want to see. And then it pulled right back down now on that 50-day moving average and at that area of support. I would have to say that yes, this might be a potential buying area, but where is your risk? That's the real question. So anytime we look at something like this, we want to ask where our risk is. B. Stewie, what'd you catch today? What were you playing? I know you're always playing those aerospace stocks. I did take an aerospace stock today. Let's see, aerospace.
Yeah, I was looking at a few. I didn't play any. I was just managing today. Today was a hectic day for me. Plus, Powell speaking. I
Oh
knew it
yeah.
was going to be a crazy day. So,
So you're
yeah, I
not
didn't play
actually
nothing.
holding
But
any aerospace stocks?
on this Reddit, though, where you got in and was talking about that basing area, with my process as well, I use the fixed volume profile. And if you use it from the past earnings to
Okay.
where it's at today, it gives the POC, the point of control line, right where your basing area is.
Okay.
And it come down and it tested right the POC is. And I mean, I just like the look of it.
Okay. Are you talking about the anchored VWAP from previous earnings?
I'm talking about profile.
Oh, the volume profile. Okay. Oh man, it's been a while since I grabbed
Yeah.
it on this. I think it's right here, anchored volume profile from previous earnings, and right here is your point of contact. That is very nice. Yeah, so that's like a triple whammy. So the POC is the point of contact, guys, and it's a volume profile term that they use. And basically, you're just taking your volume, and instead of putting it on the date of the x-axis, you're actually putting your volume profile on the y-axis, which can make things a lot easier to actually look at here. And you can see here the point of contact that he's talking about is this area traded around 170. And right now, the stock has pulled back down to that 50-day moving average, just above that 170 area. So it is being supported. So that is nice. It's nice to see. Now, of course, I have shares in the stock, so I have a bias. I'm expecting it to bounce. I'm a canceling trader. This is acting like a leader, and it needs to hold above these areas to continue to be a leader. Because if it starts to break down this area, it's no longer a leader for me. So. But that is nice. And yeah, so this is also another cool thing that you can use too when it comes to this trading view. And of course, if you don't have trading view, use my link in the description down below. Whoa. But yeah, so that was Reddit. It was a beautiful trade. I'm still holding on to the last half. But this is exactly what we're talking about. 3 new higher lows, a
Yeah.
tightening range, a beautiful base. Go ahead, Beef. Beef's just a little bit behind on the thing, and we got a snowstorm coming in, and it looks like he's trying to talk, but now I can't hear him. Sorry, Beef. Yeah, we got a snowstorm coming in. He's a few miles south of me, and he's got absolute garbage internet connection. So, yeah, good luck. Good luck, Beef Stewie. I'll come shovel you out later. All right, so let me go on to let's just look at PLTR. I want to talk a little bit about PLTR because I tell you what, when PLTR broke its 50-day moving average, I was very quick to give up on PLTR. Oh, I see. Okay, we're going to head right back to Reddit now. So as we were talking about the volume profile, he is putting it over here on the left side. And right here is your point of contact that he's talking about. And it comes right down and bounces off that point of contact. So, that is just the amount of volume traded. And the higher that amount is in a specific area, the better or more resistance or support is going to be there. Somebody either be defending there or selling there. So that's the point of contact that he was trying to explain. So back to PLTR, I always want to learn from my mistakes. And I was very quick to give up on PLTR, and I will do this, and I will do this from time to time. But I was very quick to give up on PLTR when it broke this 50-day moving average. And I think there's a few reasons why I think I gave up so early, because it broke the 50-day moving average, and we had earnings so close, within, 30 days, less than 30 days, until earnings after we broke a 50-day. But now look where this thing is, So I really need to start keeping better track, because the more leaders that I look at, the more times I find that they do pull back to this 50-day moving average before starting to head higher. So it's very interesting to see, especially because, PLTR, when's the last time this thing touched its 50-day moving average? Its earnings August 5th, 2024. This thing's been on absolute terror, and it still is. So that's PLTR. Daniel, you got one for me? I know I took your PLTR. That's your baby. Rocket Lab? We also got Rocket Lab here, and there's a lot of drawings on this. I just want to make it really, really simple with Rocket Lab. So I still like Rocket Lab. I still think it's setting up. I still think it's making new higher lows, which this is really, really nice. So you can call this a higher low, this a higher low, and this a higher low as well, or this one, whichever one you want to go off of. Really, I would much rather consider this the new higher low. So you have your 3 new higher lows. Well, if we put this on the weekly, look how much cleaner this looks now. We can just remove all this. And the longer these things take to set up, sometimes the better. If we can get a tightening range here, like you're starting to see here, right before this thing explodes, I think this thing could very well go. The issue with it is all of these wicking candles on top. We talked about this in that $30 area before. We broke above it momentarily, but anytime we get back up into this $30 area, it gets sold off really, really hard. We were talking about that earlier. We were watching it live in our Discord, and I was talking to Daniel about that $30 area. We were looking at it on, the 5-minute time frame, or if you look at it on the hourly, you can just see there's so many wicks in this area, every time it gets there. And then that same day, it just broke and then it cleared. That's the biggest issue I have with this. When you get up above a huge sell area and you clear out all the people that are shorting in that area, so they're just getting above a psychological and an area that has been shorted over and over again, it clears those shorts out and then it continues to fail. So in my opinion, that's a really bad sign for it, just on like a more zoomed in type of aspect. But this is starting to just kind of keel over, where the 50-day moving average doesn't have this beautiful slicing up trajectory like you can see all the way through here. It's starting to kind of roll over. So maybe this is the start of a stage 3 before we enter that stage 4. And I think Daniel, you brought that up before as well. So just keep an eye on this, guys. I still like it, but I'm very nimble. I will change my mind tomorrow if we start to break this area right here.
How about COMP? COM as in Mary, P as in Paul.
COMP, Technology Service Package Software, where right away I see the EPS growth is 51% with the sales at 21%. Compared to the last quarter, that's really, really well. Let's look at this. So at first glance, we're obviously looking at a decent company here. And COMP, let's see where it lines, 4.9%. So we're right with everything, right? RS is 93%. We got good quarterly earnings. We have good sales. You can see their annual growth. They are working and they're profitable, at least at first glance they are, okay? making new higher lows, bouncing off the 200-day moving average. I mean, it's trending up. It looks like it's trending out of this area. What sector is this? Technology, service, package, software. Well, it's definitely not leading right now, but I will say this. Anything package software, cyber software, anything that is helping with AI in that sense is just kicking ass and taking names. This is also out of New York, COMP, Compass Incorporated. It says that this stock engages in the provisions of online retail estate platform. Its platform provides an integrated suite of software for customer relationship management, marketing, client services, operations, and other critical functionality, as well as broker services and adjacent services. So, so this is just another one of those stocks. And if we continue to make these new higher lows, I mean, I would say it's exiting. So obviously stage 4, here's stage 1. It looks like it's already in a confirmed stage 2 uptrend, right? With confirmed EPS and sales growth. So yeah, I mean, I think we really.
I'll tell you what I like about it. The AI, one of its first areas that it's going to really impact is customer service, and that's really what this is. This is a customer service platform.
Is it a customer service
So
using AI? Are they integrating AI?
It's so a company that has a website can interact with their customers better.
Okay, very cool. Yeah, I really like that. I'm going to throw this up on the leaderboard just to keep an eye on it. Maybe not the leaderboard, but the watch list. Sorry, because these are beautiful. These are beautiful things to see, especially if you can get a hold of them when they're exiting. So this stock has only been around since May of 2021. So it's still pretty recent. They're obviously making this nice curled bottom. Now this is the monthly, guys, so keep that in mind. This is the monthly time frame. We go back to this daily here. You can see we have what you could relate to as a cup and handle, but it's got the V-shaped bottom, which I don't care. It's to me, I just don't like that. It kind of breaks the stock in a sense, but it's working out. COMP. And I kind of just want to put an alert right here. Let me just put it on this. Just so I can be alerted, because if this breaks out higher, this might be where I would want to get some more exposure. Because right now my exposure is RDW. We just got that today. So, and RDW is my first time taking an aerospace and defense. And I would really like to see this thing prevail. After really getting into it, I looked a little deeper into its financials. It's not the best. It's really not. I feel like I could get my money in somewhere else, and I'm really questioning if I want to trust my money in this stock. So that's just one thing I'm kind of concerned about. I'm also in RBRK, which is that cyber defense, technology service, information technology. Let me just read you a little bit about this too. Engages in the provisions of cloud data management solutions, in solutions in backup and recovery, backup Microsoft 365, ransomware recovery, database backup, cloud solutions, and Polaris Sonar, data protection, data threat analytics, data security. So it's in the cyber recovery as well. And I just really like the cup, the handle. I didn't really care. It looks like it's getting a little loose here, but I gave it an extra day. I took this breakout right here and it proceeded to pull back, but it was just a starter size. I ended up adding into that starter size, so I'm about half size into this, and I just waited for the close today. I didn't like it breaking the 21, but I just drew out this trend before it happened, so I knew what would be a relative normal pullback through this. And I sat through it, and I told myself, I'll take a look at it tonight and see where we land. I'm very happy with where we landed. We could even continue to get tighter here. And if we did, I would add the last of my share size. So that's where my that's where I'm at with the cybersecurity. I'm still holding Netflix. Netflix almost hit a new all-time high in the after hours here. You know what I really like about Netflix right now is nobody's talking about Netflix. I'm the only guy out here talking about Netflix, and I like that. I like that. It's that's not a hot chick stock right now. You don't hear people in the Mag 7 even bringing up Netflix. They'll talk about everything else. They'll skip over. Is Netflix not in the Mag 7 anymore? I don't even know. I think that was the what'd they call that before, Dan Bob? Not Mag 7, but the Fang stocks, right? Fang Mang. So yeah, Netflix probably not part of the Mag 7 anymore. But they are back at highs. I also took Dave, and I'll be honest with you, I don't even know what Dave is. Let's look at what Dave is right now. It's finance. That's perfect. That makes me even better. That makes me even happier because it's in a hot sector. This is the XLF. This is the Financial Spider Select Fund. And you can see we're just kind of cupping out here. We're handling out here. I like it. I'd like to see it rip tater chip, especially because I'm in Dave.
My new girlfriend is BlackBerry.
Yeah, BlackBerry. Oh, yeah. I remember when we talked about this. You can see this beautiful base, and I remember you brought up BlackBerry, and right away I kind of scoffed at it. I thought, BlackBerry, that's old technology. It's old this, it's old that. But then right away you start to see flaws in my biasy because we move up higher here on earnings, right? So earnings. And you can see it's kind of choppy here between the EPS and the sales. They're getting some sales, they're not getting some sales, but their trajectory looks like they're starting to climb back up. They're trying to climb out of that the junkyard, as you might say. And you can see it created this very tight range, and it broke above this area, and it worked out very, very well. Now, is this a leader? No, it's not a leader, and there's a lot of overhead resistance. But when you find something like this where it pushes up on volume and gets tight, creates new higher lows, this had more than 3 new higher lows. This had 1, 2, 3, 4, even 5 new higher lows before it really expanded. I would have been in this area and probably not have taken this because these retest buybacks are way too hard. But yeah, this is a beautiful tightening range. It looks really, really good. Not one that I would have taken, but definitely one that if you're looking at these base and trend breakouts right here, you can find them right in here, that's absolutely beautiful.
They're doing cybersecurity now.
Is that why they're doing so well? That's
Yes.
awesome. Yeah, that's awesome, man. And, the cybersecurity segment includes Brand Clients, BlackBerry Spark, ATHOC, and SecSuite. The IoT segment focuses on software license. Okay, cool. Yeah, so they have their own cybersecurity sector, or they're in the cybersecurity sector now. Very interesting. What else we got, guys? If you guys don't call them out, I'm just going to keep on bringing up leaders. And one of them is... What's that?
Yosef's got something.
What's up, Yosef?
Oh, what's up?
What you got for me, man?
CLS.
Can you put it in the general chat? Can you just text it in the general chat? Yeah, that way I don't misinterpret and then we go back and forth 8 times. Well, he's putting that in there. I just want to point out this IAG. This is the gold, the IM gold. If you're into that gold stuff, you like the gold stuff, I put this on the leaderboard, I think like last week. And or at least by this Sunday, I had it on this leaderboard. This is your cup with handle right here. And they're making money. They're making money. So this looks good. It's on a beautiful trend. I really like it. So put that gold on there.
The
What
gold ETF's looking really good too.
it really is. Yeah, it really is. The gold futures looks like it's primed. So, I've been talking so much crap about gold. That's why I haven't been playing gold. Just not my cup of tea. But yeah, let's see. Oh, let me put my alert really quick here on gold. All right, so Yosef says CLS. So let's take a little peeky gander. Yeah, CLS, I think, let me read about this. Electronic technology, electronic components. They're obviously a leader financially. Look at this, beautiful. They're still just growing EPS and sales, still growing, looking very good annually and quarterly. CLS is on a constant uptrend, looking very good here. You can see earnings, they turned right around. It's getting a little wider here, but still a nice uptrend. So when I look at this on the daily, I say, where the hell am I going to get into this? Now you could start making up things like this. I mean, this very well could actually be an entry where if it got tight here, you got your 3 new higher lows before it breaks higher and expands. But I think that that's pretty wide and loose. I don't like it, But yeah, that's definitely kicking ass and taking names, man. Definitely something we're going to put and keep an eye on as well. How fast does CLS move? Let's take a look. 8%. Look at that, guys. So 8% mover here. A little bit more on the expensive side if you're looking for cheaper stocks, but $129.32 for CLS. It's definitely one that we want to keep our eyes on. Man, the volume coming in for this thing is pretty phenomenal. Oh, goodness. Oh, yeah, snow's coming down. I'm going to be out there shoveling it here in just a few hours.
Hey, David.
What's up?
U.S. gold mining. Is that fall under the same like gold? Because that's the one that.
So
that I-
miners
that I
are a
wanted to-
separate. Yeah, go ahead. Send it to me. What's the ticker symbol?
It's USGO.
USGO. Okay. So
Yeah.
you do have to understand that the mining is its own sector. So yes, the miners will do good with gold, but sometimes miners will outperform gold. Sometimes gold and precious metals will outperform the miners. It depends, on where we're at with this. So when you look at something like this, the first thing I'm going to say is like it's clearly not making money. It's not making money. They don't have anything to show except for debt right now, a mass amount of debt. So the first thing when I look at this thing, I don't trust it. I don't trust it at all. And it's creating a new lower low. So right away, there's things that I could say that are good about this, and there's things I could say that are bad. The good things is it's a newer IPO, so it still has a chance to prove itself, right? And it's also creating this new higher low here where you got this base and then you have this next shelf here, I guess you can call it. But I don't want to talk too much crap about USGO, but I don't really like it. I don't really like it. I think it's mainly the financials, let's say gold does start to pull back, this is probably going to sell off faster than the rest of it, Very volatile though. Very, very volatile. If this thing does start to take off at 9.8%, it really can start popping here. But let's put it this way. What would make me like this a lot better is if this stock did something like this. So we're right here. Let's say it does something like this. That I would get interested in. But right now it's just we got our highs way up here and our lows way down here. So it's kind of hard for me to really tell what's going on here.
Right.
It could even do something like this and
I-
get tighter right now before it went. But it's just too wide and sloppy for me.
Yeah, I thought so. It looked kind of, and it's new, like you said. So I was just keeping an eye on that one. What about like who's the leader for pharmaceuticals?
That's a good question. There's a lot of different
Tough.
pharmaceuticals going right now. I don't know. You could throw a few my way.
Well, because like I was looking at Moderna because they're down a lot, but then the finance like 50-50, like if they're
It's
gonna
that
have
they're
good
definitely
financials
not a
or bad
leader.
financials.
That's mRNA,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah. I know that.
Okay.
Yeah, I know they're not a leader because they're down 60%. That's why I was asking who is the leader, so
Oh,
I
right.
could
Well, the
follow.
first thing
I was saying Lilly.
the first thing I think of is HIMS. So HIMS. Because the last time I looked, HIMS was just, new all time highs, relative strength rating 98, came off of a nice trend break and is heading higher. Well, XLV is actually heading lower. So if you had to, I guess you shouldn't go off of XLV, but it is, I mean, HIMS is pharmaceutical, right? Health, it says
They
health services, but they
where they
make
make
drugs,
their money
right?
at. It's where they make their money at. Yeah,
Right.
they have a weight loss drug.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
like Moderna being down so much, is there any hope? Like if you were to buy, I don't want to say buy the dip, but they have earnings coming up, and I know you don't like to play
All right.
earnings.
Well,
You want to
look,
sell
look,
before
look. You
earnings.
know, you already know. You're starting off with all the things that you already know that I'm going to say and do. So, like, why
Right.
why are we being a dead horse by asking that? Am I go? What you? Why don't you tell me what I'm going to tell you? Because you know.
You're gonna tell me it's all below the moving averages. The
Yes, sir.
financials are crap.
Yes, sir.
And let's see, it's creating new lower lows.
You're absolutely right, and I love you for hitting the nail right on the head. Now quit beating a dead horse and quit asking me the same questions because you know what I'm going to say. You do. You know what I'm going to say. You say, I'm a simpleton, right? You always say that. I'm a simpleton. Well, that's the beautiful thing about it. Everything about my rules are simple. Everything's so simple. You know what the hard part is? Sticking to those damn rules. I mean, if I
Yeah.
could bring my wife in front of this camera right now, and she will tell you 90% of my trading issues over the past 5 years has been because of discipline. I have learned from all of the best. I have not reinvented the wheel here. I'm literally just doing the same thing that these guys are. The only time I'm losing money is when I don't stick to those same things. Now everybody's going to have their own little thing that they like. Stewie likes the Stewie bounce or the Anchor VWAP bounce, or Daniel likes the volume profile. He likes bringing that in. He likes there to be a bit of a story behind it. Everybody has their own little way, but we're all still looking at the same things. New higher lows, tightening range to better process our risk management. And then in the breakouts, we want to see breakouts with volume. We want to see institutional ownership buying those things up. And we want to do all of this amongst a market direction that is already heading or trending higher. And if we do that, we're at least going to increase our odds of winning and holding leading stocks. So I know this looks tempting. Trust me, I know mRNA looks tempting. It's down, it's on its knees, it's begging for all of these turds to buy it up. And you know what? It probably will head up. It probably will for a short period of time before it comes crashing right back down. Just like all of this crap, there's people still holding this. There really is. But right now, I'll tell you, if mRNA starts to trade a little quicker, and we see this thing take off, and it does a big, scoop-de poop right up here, and then starts to get tighter and forms a range, then I will. You're darn tootin'. I'll take a peeky gander at this stock, and we'll make some money, baby. But until then, screw this stock. I'm not gonna trust this with my, my children's savings. I'm not gonna trust like there's way better shit out there. So let's find it. Let's talk about it. And actually,
I think
what's that?
I was going to point out what I think's better.
Please do.
Lilly.
LLY, right?
Yeah, they're just now coming out of a downtrend,
Yeah.
starting a new uptrend,
Okay.
and that weight loss drug they got is just killing the market.
Okay. So LLY is just getting back above that 200-day moving average. They have a lot of resistance at that 930 area. So where is that? Yep, right about right here. Actually, while we have it, let's just do this volume profile.
And there is a leverage for this too, by the way.
Oh, is there? LLY?
There
What's
is.
the? Okay.
I'll look it up while you're talking about it. I'll look it up.
Okay. But yeah,
Do they
LLY,
make
this is
Ozempic or something?
they may. That's probably one of the weight loss drugs that are in there. Oncology,
Yarrow.
They do the Majaro, yeah, the good
Mounjaro.
one.
Oh, okay.
They do the good
Yeah,
one.
that's a good one. Yep.
But yeah, I mean, this is working out. This is
That
doing
works,
good.
'cause
One thing I wanted to talk about too is nuclear stocks. So if you guys don't know, Beefy the Stew, the man himself, he is loving his NNE. He's played this a bunch of different times. NNE, when I played it, guys, if you remember, we called this out 750 down here. 750. We took this trade, and I didn't sell out of this thing until the 30s. I got most of my shares out at the 30s. And now we're all the way back up here finally after, however long it's been. Let's see. This is back in June. So, yeah, wow.
The
Almost a
leverage
year.
is LLYX.
LLYX? Okay, cool. Let me
Yep.
just see.
I'll check it out.
Okay. It looks liquid enough on the hourly anyway. Anyway, NNE. I would say OKLO is leading this group right now. I think it's
Definitely.
pretty OKLO. Yeah, Oklo.
Definitely.
But you said definitely okay.
Yeah, definitely.
NNE is sitting here on this area of support. You know, I had a guy message me, and he said he was going to buy this bounce off of NNE, off the area of support. But the thing with buying at the support, kind of like I just talked about Reddit, was when you're going to buy support, you need to understand and tell if it is actually being supported. So let's just bring up Reddit one more time to show you this is what I mean. If I'm looking at this on the 1 hour, right? And we can see it's been obvious that this is an area of resistance that finally broke through and now showed right here that it is support. That's a big support. Got soaked right back up. Got soaked right back up from underneath it, headed higher. Soaked up, headed higher, right? So then we drop off and look, it bounces right off this area. It's showing support. Now, if tomorrow morning we come back down and it soaks back up, creates another new higher low on the daily and on the hourly, and then even on the 4 hours, so we can see confluency across the board, then guess what? That half that I already have holding from the original position all the way down here, selling half here, and then holding this half, I can add that other half back in, still using risk management. Look how tight that risk would be, okay? But I'm waiting for that bounce, and there is that bounce. Now, NNE, you can see right here that this came all the way down, and I didn't draw this line. This line was already here from way back when. I'm just pulling off of, instead of using volume profile, I'm looking at the volume on the daily, and I'm pulling it off of the highest volume area anchored VWAP. And it usually ends up being your same bounce lines. So you can see this red line that I created here on the highest areas lines right up with where this came down and bounced. So what do I want to see with NNE? Well, I want to see it bounce, and I want to see it hold that bounce on the 4 hour, on the daily time frame. I want to make sure and show that these bulls have confirmed a new uptrend. And if it does that, then I will say, okay, this is a true bounce. It's not going to go down any further. And if it does, that's when I know that I'm wrong. Okay, so I like NNE. I like this bounce off the 50-day moving average. I like the bounce off of its area of support, psychological and technical area of $30. And on top of all of that, now I can watch to see if it wants to strengthen up. We also have SMR, which I really like SMR. It's creating this beautiful looking cup down here, and we are starting to create a handle. So we'll see if it wants to do that. You can look at SMR kind of like this. Let me just bring it up on here. Oh, look at this. This was the best case scenario. It did not do that. Let's see here. you could just do one of these, like this. And once this price gets above this area, that is your buy area. Now, I'm not telling you to buy. This is just my thoughts, my actions. But this is another nuclear stock that you could keep an eye on. And SMR moves at 12.4%. 12.4%. But just remember, Oklo is the leader in this stock. So keep that in mind.
I find NNE just too fast to play myself.
NNE,
I really
yeah,
don't play.
15.1%. That's really fast for a stock. Very, very fast. Yeah, that's more of a smaller share size, tight risk kind of thing. It's a tough one. It's definitely a tough one. And you guys, if you have anything, just throw them out. If not, I have a list of leaders I'm just gonna run through. You know what I mean? Still watching CDNA. I'm too chicken to really play it, but 7% ADR, health and tech, and they have growth. It looks like on their EPS and sales. I've been watching Kava, and look, this is why we don't take things too early. We're waiting for a setup. This makes a cup. It's starting to make a handle, but it never broke above it. It never took off out of this area, so I didn't play it. And now look, that's a good reason why. Why we don't take it unless the breakout is true. Or if we do take the breakout and it's not true, we have tight stops so that way we don't get stuck in something. Or you take a starter size so that way it doesn't hurt you in the long run. Let's see. AXGN never broke out of its base. Real, I think we can go ahead and take Real off of our leaders. TSSI. This thing is just kind of chopping around up here. AS. We got a few in the chat. So Zamora said OBDC. Let's take a little peeky gander. So this is just trading sideways. So this is on the daily time frame. This is almost barcoding. I see what you're looking at here, where it could break out. It could break out from this area. It's IPO open. It's reached these two highs. Multiple areas on this high, and it very well could. Head higher. It's in the financials as well. But this thing's barcoding for a reason, because it's not really doing anything financially. Like, it's just kind of trading sideways lately. So I can see what you're looking at here. If it breaks out from this area, doesn't interest me that much though. It just doesn't interest me that much. Let me look on here, OBDC. So yeah, it's a really slow mover, 1.3%. It is moving up. I see today it moved up. It looked like a nice push higher on some more volume as well. But you got earnings coming up here as well on the 19th. So be careful if you're playing with something like this. We got Beef saying TEM. Yeah, let's take a look at TEM. So what is TEM? It doesn't pay a dividend. I know that. So you can see this thing's had 3 highs, newer IPO. It does have earnings coming up here. It looks like Wednesday, February 26th. All right, so towards the end of the month, in about, 12 days, so a couple weeks. Yeah, about 2 weeks, we're going to have earnings here. So be careful with that. This just created a new lower low down here. So I would say to find, a better standard for this, we're going to want to come back down and create a new higher low before, being able to head higher. I just don't like the look of this stock. Obviously I would want it to have a baser trend breakout, but it looks like it's doing things, and things it does.
David?
I have an interesting one for you. Did Erica say something? Go ahead, Erica.
Yeah, what's up, Erica?
Yeah, that was a Nancy stock.
The TEM?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, I just was going to bring that up. Yeah.
that's a Pelosi stock. That's
So
why it went up.
okay. So
It's
these.
healthcare. It's healthcare and AI at the same time too.
Oh, that's nice. That's always going to help. One thing that I always take this approach cautiously because, people want to believe whatever they want to believe. But we have to understand, like, when it comes to Pelosi and all the officials, we're getting their information like 6 months later. So I don't want anybody trying to trade like Pelosi did this, so then you get in. And I'm not saying that's what you're doing, Erica. I've had so many, there's so many videos out there. It kind of stresses me out. People are like trying to play the same stocks as them, but really you're getting sold off into, because I think it's 6 weeks or 6 months, or I don't even really, maybe it's 4 months. Somebody needs to fact check my ass on that. But when they buy something, they don't have to tell the public for like a very long period of time, which by that time, then once the public gets it, you better believe if whoever's buying it because of that, she's just selling off into them, so it's kind of a market maker's kind of BS. But anyway, TEM, this thing obviously ripping higher and probably on that news that Pelosi is in, like Erica said. For me to want to play this thing, you know what I need to see. Base or trend breakouts. This right here, I just don't like it. I don't like it. I can't trust it. I can't trust it. It's too extended. Anytime it's gotten this extended from that 10-day, we slam back down. Thunder Snow here. Oh, yeah, B-Stewie's got this crap connection. I'm going to have to go shovel him out. I'm coming over there. BRYN, though. So BRYN, I think they had earnings recently. If my charts will load. This is Berkshire Hathaway. This is not the stock I thought. Not the stock I thought we were going to talk about. BRYN. Oh, it's funny because it's different on Thinkorswim. So Berkshire Hathaway Incorporated, you can see new higher lows. It's creating this beautiful cup and handle. Look at these 3 new higher lows here. Now, this is obviously going to be a slower mover. Dan, do we have a 3X or a 2X on this?
Let me check. I don't think so. Let me look.
Okay. Yeah, this is obviously going to be a slower mover, but, Berkshire Hathaway absolutely getting it, bro. Like, this, oh, my gosh. This is exactly the kind of growth you want to see. Constant and sustained growth in the overall ETF you're getting into, and BRYN is doing the damn thing. I don't think
actually.
Is there?
There is one.
What is it?
Yeah. BRKU.
Oh, wow. So if you want to play the 2X?
BRKU.
2X.
Yeah.
Yep. This is the 2X derivative, and look, it looks like it's setting up right here. So, and the RS rating 69. Let's get it. Absolutely beautiful. One thing I didn't talk about here, which this is probably a really cool thing to talk about. So if I'm up 10%, I get to play it. And you guys can see right here, this is where I entered this stock. I played this trend breakout. And right here's the trend. It's easier to see on the daily. Let me blow this up for you. So right here was the trend. I just drew this trend out. When we broke above this trending area, I entered the trade. I held using the previous low of day, the low of the day. So my risk here was very small. My reward potential was much higher. And I exited half of this trade out right here when we broke these all-time highs. I only bought 6 shares of this, exited 3 shares here. And then as of today, because I got to hold through earnings because I was up over 10% on this, absolute beautiful win. This thing went up, I think, another 30%. So right here in the after hours, you can see I was up 10%, just teetering in between whether I was allowed to hold this over through earnings or not. And now, this last half I'm up 42% on. So sold the first half after 10%. This last other half is up 42%. So even, just a piece on the last half, I'm up, $436 on. I'm just holding a piece and being able to use that 10% as my leverage in order to carry on with this. Now I could where this is sitting, I could cash this out, or I could continue to hold on to this, because in my eyes, this is all just free money. I'm not expecting to get any money out of this. And if I can let my winners run, there might be a spot where I can add back into APP if it sets up for me again. So we'll see. And does anybody else have any other tickers? Let me see. Yosef AVPT. Let's take a look. AVPT. Oh, now this is looking nice here. So you can see this on the 4-hour. There's not, I don't know, this moves 3.3%, so it's a little bit slower. And we have earnings coming out on the 27th, so be careful. But I think the reason why Yosef was bringing this up, because if we look at this right here, bada bing, bada boom, you got yourself a beautiful cup with handle, and now it's retesting that area. So that looks really good. Let's read all about it, AVPT. So AVPT, Ave Point Technology Services, is data processing centers. You can see we do have some EPS growth, and we have sales growth as well. So that's looking nice. And let's take a peek. AV Point Incorporated operates as a digital collaborator innovator, which provides digital management services and develops, markets, and sells its suites of software solutions and services in North America, Europe, Australia, and Asia. Beautiful thing. I'd have to say, I definitely like this on a technical pattern. I definitely like it. It's getting tighter too. So see how this is all kind of loose right here. Whoops. Let's get rid of that. All right, check this out. So see how loose this is, and then it gets tight. See how loose? It kind of just gets loose here. Look how tight it's getting right here. It's starting to tighten up again. I would love to see a couple more inside days, just trade sideways as hell, and then break out. That would be great. Obviously, the market doesn't care what I think or what I want, but it's definitely looking good. So nice look on AVPT. We'll throw this up on the watch list so that way we can bring this back up later. But yeah, guys, thanks for hopping on here with me. I really want to do this on Wednesdays unless there's something that we want to dive deeper into, because I want people to bring up tickers. I want to talk about, if anybody has a trade that they want to talk about or go over or take the reins on anything, just let me know, because, I want this to be about everybody. I want it to be a podcast. And you guys know I'm just going to talk until you interrupt me. But when you interrupt me, you take the reins. I want this to be an open conversation where we can have a little podcast about everybody chatting. So I appreciate everybody showing up today. And I hope you guys have an awesome night and a green week. We'll see you guys on Sunday.